Hello and welcome back. Today we are taking a look at the Master and TARDIS Vortex Edition figure set from Doctor Who by Character Options. Here we have the Master and his TARDIS as it appeared in the final fourth Doctor serial, The Keeper of Logopolis, and the first Fifth Doctor story, Castrovalva. This is one of Character Options' Vortex Edition figures, which have a higher level of deco and often added articulation to their standard 5-inch Doctor Who figures. As you can see, it comes in a window box packaging with that Vortex Edition artwork around the sides, the TARDIS in the bottom, the Doctor Who logo, high deco Vortex Edition figure, 5.5-inch scale. It comes with two tissue compression emitters, an alternate head for Anthony Ainsley. Both head sculpts look fantastic and really look like the actor and the Master. And then they also come with the funeral casket, matrix interment. Strangely, those are actually from the 8th Doctor movie, or The Enemy Within, depending on what you call it, rather than the Anthony Ainsley Master. Additionally, based from the Big Finish audios, the Master that eventually succumbed to the Dark Trial wasn't the Ainsley Master, so it's interesting that those have been included. I don't know if this means that we won't be getting a Eric Roberts Master or a older 7th Doctor. I don't know. But we also then get the TARDIS, or the Master's TARDIS, which is done as sort of a Roman column. Packaging is the standard we've seen for the Vortex Edition figures. Doctor Who logos on the side, and the side, barcode and legal underneath, and then we get a bio on the back along with contents summary. So without any further ado, let's get this opened and take a look at the figure within. So this just opens up like so. Packaging. Get a backdrop of the Master's TARDIS. Actually, that's been done really well. I like the photo of that, and they've done a 3D bit, so it looks like the Master can step out of the TARDIS. That's a fun addition. I quite like that. I quite like what they've done there. That works quite well, and it's nice to see that it's the backdrop's a separate piece. A lot of the ones we've seen have had the plastic clamshell stuck to that and ruined the backdrop, so then Character Options not doing that on this is a nice addition. We just need to get rid of these plastic cable ties. So, whose version of the Master is everyone's favourite? Do you have a favourite? There we go. Get column. Master, and then we get our accessories. There we go, there's the figure and the accessories out of the packaging. Before we take a look at our master and the TARDIS, let's look at the actual accessories he comes with. So we get that alternate head sculpt with that devilish grin that the master was known for. Fantastic likeness. There's, I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but there's a slight dry brushing of a lighter brown hair over the, or brown highlights, which give a depth to the hair, which is really nice. We then have our tissue compressor emitters, one being closed and the other one open, and obviously being fired. There's some silver paint within that, which is really nicely touched. I didn't expect that. Along with some bronze gold paint on the tips. One thing I do like about character options is that they do have a tendency to paint all of the accessories, which give everything just that added feel of collectability. You can see here that the bronze has got a dirty wash to it to give it some depth again, and then we have the funeral casket, which actually opens up and is painted inside with a velvety red, with this being able to fit in and close it up. So we have that. We can see the seal of Rassilon's there. There is some really nice molded detail in here, and the paint apps have worked amazingly to bring all of that out. It looks gorgeous, it really does. We then have our TARDIS. You can see it's essentially just a hollow column. It's nicely painted. It's maybe a little darker than I remember the TARDIS being, but it's still some really gorgeous paint apps and molded detail throughout. You can see molding for where a door would be. However, this is just a hollow TARDIS. There is no opening or closing of this, so that is all it is. I wasn't expecting much. I'm a little disappointed that we can't open the door and, you know, just put the figure inside. I feel that it does seem like it would have just been about wide enough to have fit a figure in. It would have been nice to have had that ability to open and close it, but it is what it is. It does make a nice enough display piece, but the main piece here is our master. Again, we have that gorgeous looking head sculpt. The same highlights have been given to the hair, devilish blue eyes, like master grin, all of it there. They've got the gold sequins on his collar, even with a silver edging as well, which look fantastic. The rest of his suit's obviously just done in a simple black, which matches what it had as it appeared on screen, but there is some real nice molded detail for the fabric there, giving a level of realism to it. We can see the buttons on his jacket and trousers. As for articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so you can get a nice full range of movement there, and you can change that round by popping it off and popping the new one on. Oh, there we go. The arms come forward and back. Unfortunately, there's no ball joint hinge here, which is a shame. That would have been nice to have seen. But we do get a bicep swivel hinge at the elbow. However, due to the moulding of his frock, his coat, whatever you want to call it, that is as much as you're going to get out of it. And then the wrists swivel as well. There is a twist at the waist. The legs are on swivel hinges and will come out that far. We'll go forward. They will go back, however, that frock or coattails do hinder the ability to actually send it back. The calf gets a swivel hinge at the knee, but there is no boot cut or shoe cut or anything like that, so the slight angle of his feet is pretty much how he's intended to be posed. But he does stand nicely. He can also hopefully get a grip on his tissue emitter. So there we have the figure. I like this set. It's a nice set. I can't remember the price point now for the figure. I do feel that maybe for the price point we should have gotten arm rotations, but it is what it is. However, the figure does look really nice. I think you can get reasonable poses alongside your doctors and other monsters without too much issue. You can pose him in that backdrop and he will actually fit through there, and you can even slide and hide him away before bringing him out as he enters his TARDIS. So there's a nice playability there with the simple cardboard backdrop, which is a nice touch from character. Other than that, I don't really have much to add or say. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay safe, and remember, freedom is a right, not a privilege.